So I'm about to commence on a cooking bloke video, and I'm just choosing the music of the day, and the theme is Christian gospel, because I like that bluegrass type stuff. And if you like bluegrass music, then invariably they always end up singing about Jesus, some reason. You know, down that southern hemisphere, or that interbreeding stuff going on, sounds very Jesus, if you ask me, because Jesus liked a lot of that stuff apparently. Yeah, you know, people would think like, oh, what is this guy? He's decrying Jesus, decrying God, but then he listens to Jesus, you know, Bible thumping gospel music and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. So you'll never work me out, people, so give up trying. Now this woman and her husband are absolutely superb. She's called, or he's called, Darwin, and she's called Brooke Aldridge. But when you come to make the crossing at the ending of your pilgrim's way, Darwin and Brooke Aldridge. Meet our Savior, you'll surely meet him on that day. Now look at that cold Jordan. That's Darren. Deep waters. Look at that. Married to her, Brooke. Hear the mighty billows roll. You better take Jesus with you. He's a true companion for her. Sure without him that you never will make it home. I seem to have made it home fine on many occasions, to be fair. So I think I'm gonna call bullshit on you. I like you singing, like, and I think you're quite cute. But you know, don't be telling this I'll never make it home on my own. No, I've been around the fucking world, people. I've made it on my own, but all back safe and sound every single time. So we just gotta know where to draw the line on bullshit. And so, today I'm making chicken casserole. And the reason why I'm making chicken casserole is because the other day I ate a whole chicken, like I do about once every 10 days, and then I boil down the carcass to save the stock. So I have the chicken here and the vegetables, and so I'll face you down here whilst I'm talking. So I've got 2 chicken breasts, and they're ready to go. I have, now I was you know, a bit unsure as to what herbs to use, which would be best, and if you go on the internet, then of course there's every herb under the sun. So it just basically boils down to preference at the end of the day. So here there is, what is actually in here? Rosemary, sage and thyme. So all those things can be put in the chicken. So I'm going to put those in, and see how we go with that. Right. So when I asked this woman, so what does a thyme experience taste like, smell like? And she said thyme. I need a little bit more than that. If you're going to be speaking about things and describe it to other people, then you need a little bit more, don't you? You can't just say thyme tastes and smells like thyme. I just smells like thyme. Fuck, that just smells like rosemary. Ooh. Is that one rosemary? That one's sage. That one's sage. So sage, it smells like sage, and it's a spicy scented. Maybe a hint of lemon in there. My sense of smell ain't the greatest. Oh. It's minty. It's rosemary from the mint family. Doesn't say. It smells a bit like a fussy animal, to be fair. So what does rosemary smell like when it's fresh? A fussy animal around the rear end. Yeah, smells like animals' arseholes. Have you ever been in a horse field and smelt a horse's arsehole? Yeah, it's kind of like, smells like horses' arseholes. So, I know what rosemary smells like. It tastes like mint. Sage. Slightly fusty. Slightly aromatic. Oriental. Slightly menthol. You could imagine boiling stuff and breathing it in. You wouldn't think it would be palatable for food. I think, fuck that shit. Time. Maybe a bit like lemongrass. A little bit citrusy, limey, lemony. Okay, so, well, I mean, I think that one's a good one then, because like I often put a whole lemon in my chicken, so that one's pretty good, and I think I probably will pierce a whole lemon and put it in, so that permeates. Might be too overpowering. I'll leave to the end, and I might just squeeze a little bit of lemon juice in if I feel it necessary. So, of course, it's working out proportions now to these herbs, and I don't know, and so therefore, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to boil up some water. I'm going to pour it into a small saucepan, and then I'm going to incrementally add these things before I put it into the main body of the meal. That sounds the best thing to do, doesn't it? It's most reasonable, logical. That way I won't spoil the broth. So, now we've established that, let's see what's going on. So I thought carrots would be a nice addition. Carrots go well with chicken. Then I bought these beans. Edamame beans, and they are awesome. They keep their integrity, always firm, and they taste like greener butter bean. So that's them. Then I figured I'm putting some gherkins in, and of course gherkins, well, what do they taste like? Nothing. What's the point in buying them and putting them in the food? It might look good. A very, very mild cucumber taste. So, then of course, garlic. Tastes like onion. Here's an onion. Onion. Mushrooms. Chicken and mushrooms always goes well, doesn't it? An onion. So let me start preparing a bit of this then, right? So I'm going to put the stock in here. Oh, no. Before that, I need to put the olive oil in, because I'm going to soften the onion. I'm going to put some butter in there as well. I'm going to put this remnant of butter in, and I'm going to cook the onions on a reasonable slow heat, because I don't want them to be burnt and fried in this instant. I want them to be soft, succulent, and to absorb the butter. So I'm going to put them on gas mode 3 and prepare the onion and garlic, right? So you boys go aside there. What we're going to use, I suppose, 1 whole onion. So, of these 2 halves. Now, topic of the day. What am I going to be speaking about? Well, I'm going to be speaking about some things that's been said in the comments. And you can read the comments and you can read what people have to say. And I've spoken about the theme already, but I'm going to speak about it in more depth now. The theme is that when people feel, in their estimation, that I could do better, and I might want to think about adopting a different attitude, and instead of coming at people from the angles that I do, I might want to come upon them from the love and light. Well, I just don't gel with love and light, and so, you know, by now people really should be getting their heads around that. I'm not a love and lighter. This channel isn't about love and light. It's so far from love and light. But it has encompassed lots of the beautiful facets of life, spirituality. I've never been an adherent of any religion, and I decry religion vehemently, because they are complete and utter rubbish, poison to the masses. Anything that is given to the masses, people, you have to know is poison. The powers that be have no intention whatsoever to inform the public. They want to keep them absolutely, completely and utterly subservient to their doctrine. And so any fools out there that even remotely believe in any of this dogma that they've been told, that's been pumped down their throats since the day they were born, anyone that remotely believes in that is an idiot in my estimation. I can't say any plainer, people. I really can't. Sam Harris wouldn't say any plainer. Richard Dawkins wouldn't say any plainer. Christopher Hitchens wouldn't say any plainer. They would just tell it the way I fucking said it is bullshit. So I'd say to people, realise you are being completely indoctrinated and that you are idiots. There is no nice way of saying it. So if you don't want to be an idiot, then stop believing in the daddy in the fucking sky. Just grow up. Now, that aside, I wrote a book called Closer to God, and I spoke about my journey, which was discovering the fiction of God. But what I also discovered, because I'm a very intelligent person, by the way, and I'll say it myself because none of you guys are intelligent enough to realise the length and breadth and magnitude of my genius. But what I did was I set out to either confirm or disprove the reality of God. And I worked out that God has to be a figment of our imagination, because everything that we think we know is a figment of our imagination. So it has to be within that realm, right? Whether you think that your partner loves you is a figment of your imagination. Whether you think that your boss thinks you're the best thing since sliced bread is a figment of your imagination. So people, let's start from the very, very beginning. You know, because I do get frustrated and so I have to labour things. But it doesn't matter how much I labour. People, they can't get their heads around this level of reasoning. They really can't, and so they just don't have the wherewithal for it, simply. But some of you do. So let's just then suppose that God, just like everything else, is a figment of our imagination. If that's the case, then we need to start investigating how it comes about. Well, it comes about through propaganda from when we are in kindergarten with nativity plays, and if you're Muslim, well, with stories about the great Muhammad and all that stuff, right? Propaganda. We know propaganda is evil. We know it's indoctrination. We know it's beguilement. We know invariably there's no truth in it whatsoever. So why would anybody believe in it? Why, when we get to adults, will we continue to believe in the propaganda that's been propagated when we're children? After all, you don't believe in Santa Claus anymore. You don't believe in the Tooth Fairy anymore. You don't believe in Jack and the Beanstalk anymore, do you? But you continue to believe in baby Jesus born in a manger and all that drivel. For goodness sakes, people. So, when we've established that it's the figment of our imagination and we look for the root of it, then the first port of call, of course, is the propaganda. And then, if we are still propagandized by it, or if we're in any doubt, we go, okay, there might be something in it. Well, the next thing I suppose I better do is read the book, right? So read the whole book. And then listen to hundreds and hundreds of scholars speaking about it so it can explain to you from all different arenas. And then listen to hundreds of atheists. And by the time you've listened to hundreds of atheists and hundreds of biblical biblical scholars, and you've got a good balance of each side, then you apply your rational thinking, whatever you intuitively think, outside of your biases, outside of your indoctrination, if at all possible. Not possible, evidently, for the vast majority of people, but if you've been blessed with the genius of a free-thinking mind that can make its own mind up when presented with varying information, then you can make that decision, founded on evidence that you consider is substantial. So by the time you've listened to everybody's stories, and then you've investigated other religions, and then you found out that there are 4,200 other religions on the planet, and they all think that their God's the best God and the greatest God, then you start thinking, well, this is very reminiscent from like when I was at school. When, you know, all my mates, their dads always harder than my dad or better than my dad. And then if you have an argument with them, I'm going to tell my dad. I'm going to tell my dad. Yeah, well, my dad will beat your dad up. My dad will beat your dad up. Don't we think it's like that, people? I'm sure I'm preaching to the converted with most of my people, but there are some very, very, very silly, indoctrinated people still watching my videos. And so, they're very confused. I can tell they're very confused by their own comments because they don't make rational sense. 1 minute they're saying this and then the 1 minute they're saying that, and there's no continuity to anything. So I want to address this with them, and I beseech them to come to speak with me, but they're all terrified of the awesome, awake and brave. This awesome power that I seem to exhibit over the whole world, that people, they fear if they look into my eyes they will surely die. Yes. But you know, facetiousness aside, people, very, very few people would dare to sit before me, and when they come once, they'll probably never come again. Why? Because most people just realise they're vastly out of their depth, and it's not something. I don't ever try to demean anybody. I don't ever try to belittle anybody. It's not my intention. The obverse is my intention. Anybody that's watched my videos with younger people will see that, and you will never have a problem with my demeanour towards them. I'm not bigging it all up, anything like that. I'm trying to extract whatever they feel, whatever they know, and consider it. And then I impart some other suggestions, things like this. But of course, with reasonable people, with rational people, with philosophical people, with psychological people, you can have this level of interchange. But religious people, you can't, because it's all about the daddy in the sky says this, and he's better than you, and you don't know what you're talking about, and you're saying things of the devil, and all that, you know. And then, you know, when you look at grown men, you go, well, they've never grown up. The Peter Pans, all these idiots that believe in religion are effigies of Peter Pan, aren't they? You know, they've got the spirit of Peter Pan in them. They just won't grow up. And so when you've assessed the situation and you've looked at all the options, and then you go, well, you know, the only other thing to do, then the next step is the proof of pudding is in the eating. So how do people say that they know God? When in the Bible itself you can't know God. The Bible itself tells you you can't know God. You can never know God, because God is outside of this paradigm. You can only worship God. You can only pretend that you know him. That's why you need faith, people. You see how it is? You see how they've masterly concocted this ridiculous story. They tell you that you can never ever know God, so don't even bother looking for it. And if you do look for it, well, you'll never find it, because you can't know it, because it's outside of this bubble that you created. So that's kind of how that fucks you up on that front then, doesn't it? Well, what else do you do then? If you want God to love you, or you have faith, well, then you've got to investigate what faith is. So that's what I did, and I write about it laboriously in my book, how I investigated what's the difference between faith and belief, and I investigated and I interviewed lots of Christians and asked them what's the difference between faith and belief, and what does faith mean to them, and none of them could answer. Nobody can ever answer me. Nobody can ever answer my inquiring questions. No, they can't answer. They're all stupid. They're all just they're living in this silly fictionary world where they think they know things, but in actual fact they know fuck all. And that's the thing about it. And so, anyway, I couldn't get a single bit of sense out of any of them. Other than, oh well, faith, you've just got to believe in faith and then you'll go to heaven. Alright then. And what's heaven like? Oh, it's beautiful, it's where Jesus lives, on the right hand side of God, and that's where you'll be. Alright, what's it say about Jesus' heaven in the Bible? Oh, it's got about 3 lines. And it said, yeah, the streets are paved with gold, and it's kind of like a square. Yeah, it's a square. It's an amber type square, and it's bejeweled, and it's got, you know, nice things in there. Oh, and the lion will lay down with the lamb, which now has changed due to the Mandela effect, and it's the wolf will lay down with the lamb. Okay, the wolf lays down with the lamb. Great. Is that it? Well, fuck me. If you want to go to fucking Benidorm, or if you want to go to Miami, and someone's going to try and sell you that deal, at least they're going to provide you with some decent fucking pictures and a bit of a write-up about all the wonderful things that you can experience when you're there. Well, the Bible, God's home, 3 fucking lines. 3 lines. It's a square ambicube, and then it's great. It's not working for me, people. It's not working, but it works for idiots. So, when you have decided that, well, okay, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm not a bigot. I'm not overtly just going to be dismissing everything that I don't understand. I want to understand this stuff. And so, therefore, then, I have to embrace all of the tenets, what they say I must embrace if I am to be favourable in God's mind. Okay, so I read the Bible completely from beginning to end twice, and I've listened for fucking 15 years to biblical scholars and this, that and the other, and I've investigated a myriad of other religions, and I've done the research. And I've found everything which is vile and disgusting about Yahweh and Jesus to everything that's benevolent and beautiful, and all in between. I've done it. So what did I need to know? I need to know the veracity of this. Now, along my journey, I had encounters with what my mind, my consciousness told me was Yahweh. This was a 3.5-hour excursion under the influence of powerful psychedelics. And some people say, oh, that's just the drugs. Well, entheogen, ladies and gentlemen, means God within you. So people knew a long time ago that these entheogens induce God within you. They knew about it thousands of years ago. That's why they've all been taking them and then writing stories about it. So don't fuck with me about drugs, for those of you that are ignorant to them out there. Drugs are the portal, because it's all mind, and what drugs do, they take you into a different dimension of consciousness, and that's where you can see spirits and encounter with all this stuff. So, I had this encounter with Jehovah, I had this encounter with angels, I had the encounter with Jesus, and I've told this story too many times, I'm not going to go into them now, but those of you who are interested, they're all in my book in the finest of detail. I've had an encounter with hell or the devil on 2 very, very powerful occasions. I know what this stuff's about, so I know that as far as my mind is concerned, there is something to it. I've been out into the astral and I've had all different sorts of paranormal experiences, and I know that there's multiple dimensions here with all different sorts of stuff going on, but I ain't buying into no bullshit God, no bullshit Jesus, because they're just fabrications, and when you dismantle the Bible it all falls through your fingers. So what do you do then? If you've had these experiences where you've had somebody, something, which you knew telepathically, intuitively, cosmically to be Jesus and Yahweh and the angels and devil, what do you do? What do you do? Do you just fall down on the ground, grovelling for the nearest pair of sandals to worship? Or do you think about it, or do you look into it more? Well, I did the latter. So, looking into it more, I thought, well, okay, I'm going to discover what this faith bullshit's all about, because I just don't get it. I really don't get it. All you people, oh, Jesus, no, oh, you pray, and all this bullshit. I'm like, well, do you know God? Well, if you know God, tell me about God then. Tell me how he feels. Tell me what he looks like. Tell me what he does for you. Oh, I just know. Oh, it's in my heart and all this. I'm like, oh, I better know. You're not convincing me. No. So nobody's ever convinced me on that. Nobody's even come close because they can't, because all they're doing is projecting their own fantasy. And when you look into their minds and you question them, you can see that they can't compute rational questions and they don't know how to follow a rational lineage of investigation. They can't do that. So you see that they're very stupid people. And so there's no point in trying to apply rational thought to their minds because they're not rational. They're just fantastical. They think of fantasies and they just seem happy with that, and that's it. And then they have this belief. They invent the reality. That's all they do, invent the reality. And the whole faith thing, I put that to test. Faith. And I went to myself, okay, I'm going to try this. I'm going to pray to Jesus every day. I'm going to pray to God every day. I'm going to read the Bible every day. I'm going to go to Bible studies, and I'm going to listen to people and talk to people. And I'm going to see what manifestations work. And then when I was asking God this and asking Jesus that, well, there were things very, very bizarrely that made manifest. And I speak about them in the book. On one occasion, there was a vision in the clouds, and there was a scenario in my mind when I asked God, okay, you say that we should ask you, you know, and then you have to give us what we're asking because you have a covenant. So, okay, I'm believing in you and, you know, all this stuff. Right, what you want. I'm talking to you now, I'm reading your book every day, and, you know, I'm praying and that sort of stuff, okay? So don't be fucking with me anymore. I'm doing the best I can. And if you're all-knowing, all-powerful and all-benevolent, then you know I'm struggling with this, right? So you fucking tell me. So he said all the difference between belief and faith. And I'm like, okay, the difference between belief and faith is basically, well, faith is just like a bridge over a troublesome canyon that will be very difficult to traverse under normal circumstances. It is very perilous. But if you have faith, then you can take the shortcut, or you can take the fictional journey over the canyon. And it's a fictional because you believe that you can get there. You can believe that you won't be harmed. You believe that you're going to your Saviour and all this sort of stuff. And as long as every step you take, you believe, you've got faith, then even if you die on the way, well, you won't be proved wrong, will you? You'll just die and you won't know about it, that your faith was bullshit. And so, faith, once I understood the concept of faith and how everything basically in life is a giant leap of faith, then, you know, you look at it in different eyes, because we don't know anything for sure, people. Do you know for sure that the world is round? Do you know for sure that Australia's on the other side of the world and all these sorts of things? You don't know anything for sure. And even if you've been to Australia like I have, I don't know for sure it's on the other side of the globe. All I know is I got on a plane for fucking X amount of hours and then I landed there. You know, so that's no level of assurity for me. You know, some of us need more. We can't just have faith in everything. Faith is for the fool and the person that wants an easy ride. Now, I'm going to brown these chicken in there briefly, and so okay, investigating faith, and I realised that it's just a fantasy, and faith is interchangeable with fantasy and hope and wishful thinking, and there's no reality to it whatsoever, other than, and this is the most important part, people. Now, I am a trained hypnotherapist, so I do know a little bit of what I'm talking about, and I'm also a psychologist and lots of other things which is intermingled in what it is to know a great deal about the world. And so I knew how to put myself under hypnosis, and I could see all around me people putting themselves under hypnosis without even knowing. How do they do that? By reading their Bible, reading their Bible, reading their Bible, talking about their Bible, praying to Jesus, praying to God, reading their Bible. That's all they do. And of course, look, if you've got a one-track mind, you're thinking about one thing, one thing, one thing. What are you doing? You're programming yourself. You're hypnotizing yourselves, people. So that's all religious people do. And that's why they get you young. They want you young. The Catholic Church says, give me a boy between 1 and 7 and I'll show you the man. They want 7 years to completely program their young minds, and then once they've done that, you're captive for the rest of your lives. And I've known ex-Catholics who have been traumatized, and to this day, even though they hate Catholicism, that they can't get it out of their minds and hearts. It's in there. It's embedded in there. It's like being defiled. You never get over it. And that's what Catholicism does to people. It defiles the mind. It defiles the rational thinking minds. It's vile and disgusting. That's what religion is. It defiles young minds and it perverts them from ever thinking straight. So I did all of this stuff, and I saw the hypnosis going on, and I felt my hypnosis increasing with each passing day because I was desirous to see what happened. I was serious and I knew how to do it, people. So at the end of 6 weeks I could feel myself giving more and more the benefit of the doubt, becoming softer and thinking, well, the more you give someone the benefit of the doubt, you more believe someone, and the more you have faith in someone, the more everything else just fades away. And so we become delusional, don't we? So faith is delusion. So faith is just an application of your own hypnosis, and you're self-deluding. That's what faith is, people. And there's someone in the comments that says, oh, the more you pray to God and the more you do this, oh, the more you get the benefits, oh, the more you know him, and all this. No, the more you indoctrinate yourselves, because we are God. We create our own reality, and the more you think about anything and the more you set your intention to anything, the higher and the greater the opportunity and propensity and probability you've got of making that manifest. Fools do not get this. Fools. If you want to be an actor, if you want to be a pop star, you apply exactly the same level of self-hypnosis. You imagine yourself on the stage every single day like Jim Carrey did. You're in front of the mirror, you're doing all this stuff, you're doing the work, you're doing the reading, you're watching the fucking movies or the comedy, you're getting yourself a position in a nightclub to do whatever you do, you're working at it, you're paving your future, you are creating your reality from your mind, from your projection onto the blank canvas of the world. That's how it works, people. Can any of you refute my knowledge? Can any of you refute my reasoning? Can any of you refute as I stand here and tell you all these things that I've done in my investigation to realise that it's a crock of shit? The only validity to it whatsoever is your fantasy, because this thing is your fantasy. Everybody's got their own fantasy. And whether it's Allah, whether it's Buddha, whether it's Yahweh, whether it's Jehovah, whether it's Jesus, or whether it's fucking Zoroaster, whoever it is, can you not see there's billions of people all over the world that got their own fantasy? And you think, oh, my baby Jesus is the only one and the real one. Why? Because that's what that idiot book has told you. That idiot book is indoctrinated and you believe every word of it. Fools. A human being is a turd, a full-blown turd, and there are only very, very, very few exceptional people that are not subject to turdism. I've watched many videos, people. Thousands and thousands and thousands. I've made 5,000-6,000 myself. I've read thousands of books, and I've listened to all these people speaking about God and religion and this, that and the other. And the way I come at things is from my own personal experience, using my own intellect and my wisdom and the cosmic fucking genius that I've been endowed with, that's enabled me to gather up all these things and look at it through a very feasible, rational mind. And if anybody wants to come and you know, talk to me about this, Jordan Peterson, Sam Harris, come on. If you think your minds are so beautiful and so pure and so elevated, come and talk to this one. And so people make all sorts of silly excuses as to why they don't want to come to speak with me, because they're terrified, absolutely terrified. Because there's no way that you could find a hole in my rationale, because it's been backed up by so much. If you think, aha, there, then I've got it backed up, what you're seeing is just like the tip of a pyramid. You're seeing the end result of a tip of a pyramid, and below that is a massive amount of information and personal experience over 61 years of my life, but 15 years on a very deep and profound spiritual journey. And so, that's what I've come to know. And I know that I can have a relationship with a fiction of any deity that I so wish. Why do I know this? Because all I have to do, people, is look across the world and see other human beings doing it. And every single one of them believing absolutely in Allah, Muhammad and Yahweh and Krishna and Brahma and all that. Yeah, they're balls deep in this shit. And so therefore we know it's possible. But then when you have a psychological insight, you got to see, well, how is that possible? How do they get to that? And then, it's obvious, it's the lineage, because it's the same all over the world. It's hypnosis at large, it's propaganda at large, but also it's self-hypnosis. When you buy into the propaganda, when you buy into the over-hypnosis, then you self-hypnosis. And that's what society gets us all to do. It gets us all to police ourselves, doesn't it? It gets us to police one another by indoctrinating us into this is right and that's wrong. And then we'll go around, oh, that's wrong and this is right. And then we're just power fashioning. We're all mini-me's, aren't we? Mini-me's of not the man in the sky, but the man on the telly, the man sitting on the throne. Can't you see how it all works? My God. You know, it's always unfathomable to me, because I have such a clarity. How all this stuff works. And, you know, when I'm speaking to people, they're looking at me like that. And I'm like, you're not hearing me, are you? You're not fucking hearing me. You don't get it. Why don't people get it? Because they haven't experienced it. This is the thing, people, you have to experience. You can't just think you know shit, like a 20-year-old guy on the fucking channel thinking he knows stuff or dismissing this, that and the other because he doesn't like it. It's like what Professor Dave was saying to Flat Earth Dave, because Flat Earth Dave isn't the brightest penny in the pond, whereas Professor Dave is vastly more intelligent and learned. And so when Professor Dave will present something to Flat Earth Dave, well, Dave will just be going, oh, they say the sun's round, but that just don't make sense, that's stupid, and things like that. And then Professor Dave was saying, look, every time I'm presenting to you science and facts and this, that and the other, just because you don't understand it, you're saying it's stupid. Well, that's because you're stupid. And there's a lot of truth to be said in that. Yeah, there's a lot of stupid people out there that think that they know everything, dismiss everything because it's stupid, because they've got no idea, because they don't know how things work, they haven't done the study. I've done the study, people, with all these things I'm speaking about, and I've put myself to the test. I've put myself to task. I've spent many years and intensely in one period of my life every single day for one whole year. I meditated for at least 5 hours a day. 5 hours a day. Can you imagine reading 12 hours a day? And you know, in the early days of my spiritual development, 12 hours a day for 7 years. I've put the work in, people. And so when you don't understand me, when you say to yourselves, oh well, I don't think this and I don't think that, just ask yourself, what the fuck do you know? What the fuck do you know? Have you been around the world 100 times? Have you read 10,000 books? Have you had 61 years on the planet? All these sort of things. If you haven't done that, then when I say something, it's kind of like, where can I do some research on that, Aaron? Or if I'm saying something about morphic resonance or the Akasha, well, just fucking Google it yourself and listen to people on YouTube. Listen to hundreds of people. You can't just listen to one video here and there. You're not going to get it, people. I've been doing this stuff 15 years, every single day. Every single day. That's what my life is, this stuff. And so I'm just not listening to people that don't even scratch the surface. Right, now, we have here browned chicken. So apparently they say that seals in all the juices, whatever. Now I'm going to put in my chicken stock. Oh fuck. I'm not being mean, people, I'm just being straight. And for those of you out there are looking for any semblance of truth and reality, which of course there isn't any, but I'm probably the closest you're going to get in this land of fiction. Because nobody speaks like I do. You know, I listen to people who have read the books. I listen to people who have spoke to the scholars. But those people have no experience. And when they're speaking about, you know, God and the devil, and Marcion said this, and Paul said that, and all these different sorts of stuff, sometimes people say, have you ever had any psychedelic experiences? Oh no, not yet, no, not yet, it's on my list. Well, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about because every single one of these scriptures, every single one that's ever been written, that stood the test of time, was written by people who did and who had. Absolutely guaranteed, there's no doubt about it. All these super duper scholars of ancient times, they all were related to these super secret societies, and writing all these secret documents to be hidden away from the idiot masses. And then they'd write some claptrap for the masses. And this is what Jesus did. He had claptrap for the idiot masses. And then he had his real teachings for the Gnostics. And so what have you got when you read the Bible? Claptrap, people. Claptrap. Okay. So I'm going to put in these gherkins, put them in, we can put them in now. Let's have some chunky gherkins. La 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 la. Now the carrots, I tend to boil the carrots up on their own because I want to make sure I've got the timing right. I cook the carrots separately and then I will incorporate them into the broth. Now I'm going to put the music on again, and by the way, what I will say, you know, to any of my viewers, when I speak about certain viewers this and certain viewers that, I don't have any animosity. I'm not trying to belittle people. I'm just straight talking. And if you say this, then I'm going to say that. And if I think people are talking stupid, I'm going to say, you know, some people speak stupid. In actual fact, you know, very, very seldom in my life, honest to goodness, I've ever met anyone that's talking sense. It's always me that's doing the talking. It's always me that's doing the teaching. You know, it's always me that's answering people's questions. Because I've never met anyone that's deep enough and profound enough for me to ask questions over and above what I know. Where are these people? You know, if I could have time with, let's say, people like Jordan Peterson, then, you know, I'd probe his mind about certain things, as he's a Jungian psychologist, and this, that and the other, and he's a learned person, and he would apply his mind to it, and, you know, we could have some sort of rationale. But I don't know even how far I'd go with him when he's got this stupid fantasy about the Bible being a reality written by God. He seems to think that, at least everything he says, he gives it so much credence. I see so much into it which no one on the planet has ever seen before. At least in all my 15 years, I've never seen anybody speak about things like he does. He's inventing stuff because he's looking at this scripture from a clinically psychological Jungian psychology, and he wants to make something of it, you see. Can you not see how we create our reality? He wants to believe, and so therefore he's desperate to find something out, and his mind will fit in the pieces and give him what he wants to hear or see or find. Can't you see how it works, people? Do you not know this? But if you don't have any allegiance to anything, if you don't want anything to be any particular way, if you don't have any biases, I don't have no biases, I don't want the world to be any particular way. I don't care whether a meteorite hits the world tomorrow. I don't care whether you have nuclear war or anything like that, because I don't have an allegiance with this human thing, because I know I'm not human. I know I am the cosmos. I know I am God consciousness. So all this fickle, bullshit, silly fucking dream that we're having, it means nothing to me on the bigger scale. But sure, I think it's a wonderful, I think it's a blast, it's great, it's genius, it is. All that wonderful stuff. And, you know, you can have beautiful kids and, you know, lovers and, oh yeah, wonderful stuff, human experience. But at the end of the day, over and above that, it means nothing. Because it's all in the mind of God. Can you imagine how many human beings there have been? Do they mean anything? Does your life mean anything, really? Does a grain of sand on a 50-mile beach mean any fucking thing? Really? Get things in perspective, people. So stop thinking you're so precious and God loves you. What the fuck are you on about? It's just your silly, insecure, human, frail ego. That's what's going on. Can't you see that? You need to study psychology. That's what you need to study, people. You idiots. And you know, idiot is just a word, and it means someone that's fucking stupid. And I'm sorry, but anyone that believes in religion is stupid. They're very, very misguided and beguiled. And that's just a fucking fact as far as intelligence goes. Any intelligent person will tell you that. You know, a philosopher will tell you that. A psychologist will tell you that. A scientist will tell you that. The only people that ain't going to tell you that are stupid idiots that are religious, like you. Or those that believe in that shit. Come on, people. Right. I've got onions, I've got garlic. I've got the stock. I've got the chicken. I've got the gherkins. Now, I need a saucepan, because I'm going to decide what amount of each of these herbs I need in the broth. And it's going to be interesting. But you see what I'm doing here, people? I'm going to be learning about these three things. So when one day, if anybody asks me in the supermarket, what's rosemary taste like, smell like, fresh? I'll go, smells like a donkey's arsehole. They'll go, what meat would you have that with? And I'd go, sausage, donkey sausage. They'll go, okay, what about sage? And I'll go, are you a witch or are you a wizard? Witches and wizards use sage, you know. They burn it and waft it around and they say it gets with spirits and stuff like that. What about thyme? Thyme? Well, start smoking this shit and then, you know, you'll find out what thyme is or isn't. Put it in your pipe and smoke it, that's what I'd say. Smoke a bit of thyme. Yeah. Now my nose, my old-fashioned. Now here's the thing. I went to see a nose specialist, and put this in there. Because my nose is blocked up, and he gave me this nasal thing, and he said that will induce the inflammation because your nose is inflamed. And I said, it's been like this fucking most of my life because I had a motorbike accident which crushed the bone in here and it's compromised that. And then I went to the hospital and I had it cut out some bone and it hardly made any difference at all. So the hospital didn't know what the fuck they was doing. And then I went to see this ear, nose and throat specialist and he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about because he's given me this spray and it's not made the slightest bit of difference, telling me I've got inflammation. Look people, these people are criminals. They're fucking criminals. Can you imagine? If they get someone before them, do you think they're going to let you out of their office without prescribing something to you? Because if they don't prescribe anything to you, the vast majority of people are going to think they're idiots. He didn't know what I've got. He never prescribed me nothing. You know, because if they said to you, there's nothing wrong with your fucking nose, you just, you know, crushed the bone and it's caused bone growth and, you know, that's it. Unless you go to the hospital again and see if they're going to do that job again properly this time. Are they going to cut the bone out properly this time? Because they fucked up the first time. But they're not going to do that because people are going to say, oh, you can't find anything wrong with me. You know, there's this, so they've got to write something down. And then it's like, they give you something, you go, oh, thank you, doctor. And then you go and take it, and then, you know, you won't even be thinking about whether it made you better or not. You just go, oh yeah, I feel better. I feel better. I think I can breathe better. Oh, fuck off. I can't breathe any. When I was in his office, I went, look. Nothing. In actual fact, it's even worse now. I've been taking this shit. This fucking nasal shit for about 2 weeks. They're full of fucking shit, people. It's all a con. Every single bit of it's a con. All you gotta do is live healthy and exercise and you won't need to even fucking see those idiots. Right then. Is the Awake and Brave talking fucking straight here or what? Okay, so let's have a look. Look, I think if I'm going to be using this thyme, then I'm going to be needing probably to put about that much in. So we'll bang that in and stir that around a little bit. Well, I'll tell you what, whilst that's doing its thing, oh fuck it, look, I'm not going to be using this again, so I'm going to put it all in, and then if it's too strong, I'll water it down, right? That's the thing. So I may as well have it strong so I can taste it. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put these chicken stock in the broth. I think I mentioned early on that whenever I have these so-called rants and yeah, a couple of people take offence, and I don't know how many people take offence if they don't put the comments down. But what I do know is that invariably there never is a single subscriber lost. In actual fact, the subscriptions go woo, because people are looking at me and go, who is this guy? What is this guy? This guy is amazing. Look at his energy. Look at his wisdom. Look at his confidence. Wow. And of course they're drawn to me like iron filings to a magnet. Of course you are. That's the natural propensity of human beings. They're drawn to powerful people. And so, even if you don't know what I'm speaking about, you're mesmerised by it. You're like rabbits in car headlights, aren't you? And of course I have to assume that you don't know what I'm speaking about, that you're just mesmerised, until you prove me different. And one of the comments was like, you speak like you're the only enlightened person on the planet. And I'm like, well, according to the fucking comment section, I am. Because there's no fucker else coming close. Right? Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Tell me all about your wisdom. Yeah, I'd love to hear it. So anybody got a problem with Awake and Brave? Then come and buy me dinner. That's what I say, come and buy me dinner. Get in your car, come and buy me dinner. Or, if you're tight fuck, get online. Get online and tell me all about it. And tell me how I'm going wrong, and tell me how, you know, your advice can set me straight, and then I'll ask you a few questions, and I'll go, so, when you're speaking about God, you mention God a lot, I mention God a lot, and then I say, well, what God are you talking about? And then you say, oh, I'm not talking about that God, I'm talking about the God of the cosmos, is that the other? Okay. And then in the next sentence you mention, you can get close to him. And I'm like, hang on, what fucking God of the cosmos when you get close to him? Now you're anthropomorphizing him. Now he's a he, like Yahweh or Jehovah or fucking Allah. You just say you didn't believe in that sort of God. And then all of a sudden you're anthropomorphizing him. Oh, when you close your eyes and you do this, oh, you can commune with him. Oh, please, him. I won't hear of it. I won't hear of that insecure tosh, this him that loves you. Oh, fucking please. I go, oi, cunt. Strike me down now, cunt. Oh, loving father. Come suck my dick. That's what I say. I say, come suck my fucking fatty. For fuck's sake. Sick of these fucking tards. Right, I'm going to put these beans in. Look, at the end of the day, if you don't have confidence, then you need someone else to give you confidence, don't you? You need someone else to look up to. You need someone else to suck their cock, don't you? And then when you swallow and they pat you on the head like you're a good boy, you feel like you're accomplished and wanted. Why do you need somebody? Why do you need to go, oh, him? You know, what the fucking hell's wrong with you people? You know, whether there's a fucking him or there fucking isn't a him, what of it? We live and then we die, and then whatever the fucking is, we're gonna find out or not. So why shit your pants all through your fucking life, thinking, yo, I'm a little me, I'm a little human being, I'm one of God's children, and he'll tell me off if I don't suck his cock. The devil, Satan, he said, God's a fucking knob. He says don't eat from that tree because he doesn't want you to know knowledge. I'm saying eat from that fucking tree, you won't die, he's a lying cunt. And so they ate from that tree and they didn't die. Proof, yeah, he's a lying cunt. what did the serpent do? He effectively did what Zeus did. He gave light to man. What did Lucifer do? He gave light to man. Oh, Lucifer's the devil, Lucifer's evil. It's all lost about face, people. It's all propaganda. It's all designed to steer you away from the light. Lucifer's the devil, no, Lucifer's the light. It's the morning star, it's the evening star. You know, simple as that. The sun god, the always pagan evil devil. No, 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 the sun is what gives life. And what's created this whole fucking world. Oh, for fuck's sake, stop with your stupid biblical fucking bullshit already. It's so fucking annoying. It's so annoying. Nothing too discernible, to be fair, people. So I'm going to put in relevant herbs, and it will be whatever it will fucking be, you know. So put in arsehole of a donkey. Here, have some arsehole of a donkey. Love it. And sage. Sage, you know, goes with any fucking thing. So we can put that in as well. Now, what I'm also going to put in is a whole bunch of black corn peppers. And I like it pretty spicy, so I'm going to put that in. And then also what I'm going to put in is some chili powder. Chili powder. So we're gonna put in about like that, and I think we're rocking, people, to be fair. Right, like that. Yeah. So let us now come over here. By the way, you enjoying this cooking boat video? Isn't it awesome? Fucking awesome. Well, you know, whether you like it or not, but you don't get anything else like this anywhere else, do you? You just don't get anywhere else. You know, it's like, oh, the Awakened Brave. Yeah, you know, you don't get it anywhere else. And so, if you do think you get it anywhere else, like I'm always telling you, well, fucking send me a link. But don't be fucking with me like this guy's like one titchy little bit like you. Don't be fucking with me like that. You know, it's got to be 80-90% like me. There's nobody out there in the whole cosmos like me. The Awakened Brave, people. The Awakened Brave. And, you know, you could think, oh, you love yourself so much. Yeah, of course I do. You know, I've travelled a long journey and I've seen a lot of idiots, and I look out at the creme de la creme of these super intellectuals, and they're not moving me, they're not touching me, no. Save for people like Ammon Hillman. Ammon Hillman, he knows where it is. He's a fucking intellectual, he's PhD, he's a doctor, he's fucking proper up there, doing all the study and everything, yeah, and he's a little bit fucking crazy, a little bit cray, yeah. By the time you get into all this stuff, if you're the sort of person that's going to be stepping outside of society, then you're a little bit cray, right? And so that's how it is, people. So, Dr. Hillman, talking about Jesus and interpreting the Greek fucking ancient scripture and talking about Jesus being a drug addicted paedophile, and all of his disciples were young boys, and he can prove this through all the literature and all the translations, and he says, look, all I'm doing, I'm not inferring nothing, I'm not inventing nothing, I am just translating, and anybody else that knows how to translate Greek properly will come to the same fucking translation. That is it. I'm presenting to you what is said in this text, nothing more. And so, and if you, oh, it's lies, oh, it's the devil, you come round my house and suck my cock. Now, okay, look at this, people. Now it's starting to look like something, isn't it? It's starting to look like something. What else have I got that I can put in there? Oh, mushrooms. Right, come on. Come here. Alright, you want to know how to cut mushrooms? I'll show you how to cut mushrooms. I'm pretty sure there's lots of you out there that don't know how to cook mushrooms. Pretty sure there's some of you out there that haven't even ate a mushroom. You don't even know how to eat a mushroom. You haven't tasted a mushroom. And I know for a fact that there'll be a fucking billion of you that never has eaten a raw mushroom. You just don't do it, do you? You just don't fucking live. You don't know how to live. You don't know how to experience. Right, that's how you cook mushrooms, right? So now next time you go to the supermarket, you don't need to be afraid about bushels of mushrooms. You can go, I know how to cook mushrooms now. You reckon Brave showed me? I know how to put them in a pot. Make dinner. Have a laugh, right? Oh, they're making Brazils, talking to us like we're imbeciles. Oh, fucking prove me different. Prove me different. You've never proved me different. You've not. You've not. You've not. Have you made any great videos? Have you ever come for a chat and told me how great you are? How wonderful your mind is? Have you written any books? No. What the fuck then? What the fuck do you want from me? Anyway, right, we're getting there, people. We're getting there. The carrots are boiling away, and this concoction, I'm going to taste it now. Now, it's too weak. It's too weak. God damn it. Now, under normal circumstances, I would have put in some beef gravy granules, but I think I'm just going to put flour in. That's tasting pretty good. Yeah. I don't think I want to put beef stock in it, so I'm going to put some flour in. Just to thicken it up a bit. You know, I've never done this before, so I'll just start off slow. Is this the right way to do things? See what it's doing. Is it making it any thicker? I don't think it's making it any thicker. Oh, put a few gravy granules in. Not get too carried away. Don't want to overpower the chicken and the herbs, you see, but I do want it a thicker consistency. You can't have it like piss. You can't have your stew like piss, people. Right, and so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn off these carrots, drain them, and let's do some into the pot because I'm going to be continuing to cook this for another like 20 minutes to soften up all these vegetables. Now I'm going to taste that again. I think I'm going to put 2 more chicken stocks in. Now what I did notice there, the overpowering essence was the thyme. But that's okay, it wasn't offensive. I couldn't smell the donkey's arsehole. I couldn't taste the donkey's arsehole. So I'm going to stir that around a little bit. And so the only other thing that I've got to do, which I'm going to add into this, is I'm going to boil some potatoes and then when the potatoes are boiled and they're still pretty firm, you know, I'm going to place them in here, because potatoes are always a very appreciated facet of a hot pot. Now that's starting to look more greasy, more stocky, richer. Maybe the flour's starting to mix in a little bit there as well. So let me see that now. Yeah, that's benefited from the chicken stock, and I'm quite happy with the consistency of that. I don't think I need it any richer. I don't need it any more, you know, gravy-like. I think that's good. So by the time those vegetables have simmered down a bit, I think we're rocking. So guys and girls, I'm going to tidy up this ship, and I'm going to prepare some potatoes, and then I'll be back for the consumption.